Good morning, everybody. You have caught us just in time for today's shower to pass through. The first, and I think many for this afternoon. It's been quite a wet evening last night. It just didn't really stop raining. It would just hammer it down. Lassie, come on, come in here. It would just hammer it down last night. Lassie! It's like she doesn't want to come in. You see, I've called her 3 times and she has just sat down out there. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well I tried. It was a bit of a strange night last night. It was on and off odd weather. Lizzie was sort of inning and outing a little bit. She couldn't quite make up her mind whether she wanted to go to the loo or something. So we had fun with... That's better. Alright, now you're going to come in now. Go on then, over there. Right, I put some food over there for her. And her, and her bed. I've moved everything back because it just got absolutely flooded in here last night. The water kind of comes down there. If this rain goes again, it'll come through again. But basically, the rain just comes down through there, and then it floods most of the vestibule in here. Not all of it. Luckily, the bit where Lassie is, it seems to leave alone. You see, I put this mat down for her, which admittedly isn't bone dry, but I mean, it's probably drier than the ground, and she still chooses over there. She's really not a huge fan of that ground cloth, so I'm almost wasting my time, bringing it with me. But this time of the year, I like to bring it now because, if I have to get her down on something for whatever reason, then, I need something that I can put down. So this time of the year, I know I do bring it now, but she very rarely uses it. Like I said though, this whole area down here was flooded. I suppose if you had a footprint, it might go under it, but it could just as easily go over it as well, and I really don't think that it would make a huge difference. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a footprint. We need a footprint now, Lizzie. We're gonna have to change our tune and start using a footprint, but we won't tell them that we're doing that. Okay, we like our little dirty secret. So where were we? Oh yeah. So this area here did get quite wet, and under the mat and everything like that, it got quite wet this morning. I don't think it was from leaking. I just think there's so much moisture in the air. I think it condenses under there, and then just gets wet. So I've moved everything back out of the way just to let this area, down there dry out a bit. One thing I have noticed, this thin foam mat here. I got this from Atom. I got this from Atom Packs, and it's very good for 3-season, but it does seem to soak water up. So we'll dry that out. I've not had breakfast yet. It's quite late. It's 11:30. I put my head down last night about 11 o'clock, and I've got a real bottom problem, and that's I find that I need the loo, a number 2, a loo 2, in the night quite often, and I must admit, going to number 2 at the best of times out here, I don't find it the most enjoyable, the most comfortable, or the most convenient things of doing. It's probably my least favourite activity. I don't mind doing it. I'm not afraid of it or allergic to it or anything like that. I'm not looking for a load of crap sympathy. It's just a real inconvenience. Talking about convenience, it's just really inconvenient how women manage out here having to pee every few hours and drop everything. God alone knows. At least we can just undo a zip and flop a tube out, and pee out a tube. I don't know how the women manage. I'd find that really annoying, I think, too, having to go through all that palaver. Sometimes I wish I was born a woman and I could have 24 hours of fun. And as a friend of mine said, Tony, you'd never leave the bedroom. But then other times I'm kind of like thinking, I'm kind of glad I was born a man. Oh gosh. Anyway, so where were we? So we're kind of oh God. Oh, we've gone back down to the gutter again, Lizzie. I think we belong in the gutter. Oh, I checked the statistics, and I noticed the female viewership, amazingly, I don't know how this is ever possible, has gone up to 3%. 3%, Lizzie. 3% of females, women. Mind you, I wonder how many of those have transitioned. You can't tell now. That's kind of like the joke now, isn't it? You've got to ask. You've got to ask. Anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole, will we, Lizzie? We've sidetracked ourselves again. We come out here and we aim to do videos on camping and hiking and stuff, and God alone knows where the mind ends up going. I think it must have been about, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and I thought, I'm going to have to go outside and go, because it's just, I couldn't fall asleep. It actually does prevent me from going to sleep, I think, and I get a lot of wind. Well, I get a lot of wind anyway. At the best of times, I get a lot of wind, but I was getting extra wind, and of course you've got to be careful when you think you might need to go. You kind of got to be careful with the wind in case you get a nasty surprise, which thankfully I have to say virtually never happens. I can't say it's never happened, but it is very rare. But it just got to the point where I thought, I'm gonna have to. So basically what I did was, I'm so warm in this down quilt that's rated at 0, and like I say, the temperature at the moment, I doubt it. It's probably about 12 degrees. It's really warm. Yeah, there you go. 12 degrees. Tony the weatherman. Mind you, I was inaccurate the other day because I said 12 degrees and it was 13. I don't know what the nighttime temperature was. It didn't go below 10. So I thought, oh, I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. So, and like I said, it's so warm in this. I'm actually sleeping without. I don't get that 3%. Mind you, that 3% is probably 90-year-olds or something like that. Probably a load of octogenarians, knowing my luck. So I don't think we're going to have too much luck or chance of getting that 3% excited, Lizzie. Anyway, yeah. So it's so warm. I'm actually not wearing anything in it, and that is the first time that I have ever slept with nothing on in camp. Because I've always found that I just need that either that one very thin layer just for comfort, or I need something for warmth, or, you know, yeah, it's just comfort really. And I've never been overly warm, but like I said, 10 degrees, 11 degrees in a 0 degree quilt, it is warm. So yeah, I haven't worn anything. And I was like thinking, well, I'm half prepared, you know, to actually do the business, aren't I? You know, it's not even as if you've got to drop anything. And I thought, well, it's not that cold. And then I thought, well, then it's the hassle of having to put shoes on. And I've got these Innovates, and I swear they're leaking. I'm gonna have to do a test on these and see whether these are leaking or not, because I'm sure my feet are getting wetter in them than they should. Admittedly, the bottom of my trousers and my socks get wet from the ground, but I'm not convinced that my feet should be getting as wet as they are. So I didn't really want to the hassle of putting my wet shoes and socks on, and I was kind of like thinking, well, if I put my wet shoes and socks on, I'm going to have to take them off anyway and dry my feet because they're going to be wet. And I thought, well, I'll just put a jacket on, because there's no point in putting something on the. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, unless half a dozen vested virgins are going to come down from the heavens, you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, God's gift to me at 1 o'clock in the morning, having a crap out there, you know. 21 godly virgins suddenly appeared. Oh God! I didn't think there was very much chance of being disturbed with the tackle flapping in the wind. Oh God, Tony. So, oh, it's just I just really don't like the procedure. I mean, at home you can get out of bed, you just walk to the bathroom, you have your crap, you wipe your ass, flush it all away, and you go to bed, and it's just so convenient. I mean, even at home sometimes I don't like getting out of bed. But I must admit, it's much more preferable to having to get out of bed here, out here. So anyway, I eventually thought I'm going to have to drag myself out of bed. So I literally just put my jacket on and just feet sploshing around, because it had stopped raining for that moment, but it was wet. Everywhere was wet. It was so wet everywhere. And like I said, it wasn't that cold, so it wasn't really a problem, but feet splashing and sploshing around out there, and I didn't go too far. You know, I thought, let's just go and let's get it done. So I did what I needed to do, and I didn't even wipe my ass out there. I came over here. I mean, the porch here is so big that I literally just got into the porch, and like I said, the ground area here was underwater. It was that wet in the porch area, and I just wiped my bum. Oh God. Well, you got to do it, haven't you? So you may as well talk about it. I mean, it's not the hidden secret of camping. I mean, we've all got to have a crap and wipe our asses afterwards. So, you know, I just came. Obviously, then, like, and I did the door up, so there was a bit of insulation and out of the wind. And I just wiped my bum under here. Lovely. Oh God. And then obviously once I wiped my bum, oh God, I then wipe my feet. When I dried my feet off and got into bed, and I still didn't fall asleep. I still was farting away. Oh fucking hell. Anyway, eventually, I think by 2 or 3 o'clock this morning, I fell asleep, and then the next thing I knew, it was, I don't know, something like 9 o'clock this morning, I think. Gone about 9. It was either just before or just after 9. I'm not quite sure. And then I settled down, and so I must have had about 6 hours straight through, thankfully. But I am struggling because I wasn't going to bed properly for about 4 years until off in the morning. I do find, you know, falling asleep not the easiest of things to do. It has kind of messed things up a little bit, but I take one night ease tablet. I tend to take it early evening because they're so mild, they don't really have any effect. And the problem that I found is if I take them at like midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning, it's like I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up in the morning. I mean, I don't mean that I'm comatose or anything. They're not like sleeping tablets or anything, but I just feel very, very sleepy in the morning, and then I struggle to get going. So what I tend to do is I just take one, like in the early evening, like 6, 7 o'clock. But the trouble is, by the time I've actually decided it's time to fall asleep, I reckon the effect's worn off them. So anyway, we're back to Hobbs's health conditions again now. And we're just going to relax today. I did the video on health yesterday. I did a video on the quilt yesterday. I want to do a video on the pack, but I think I'll do a video on the pack when I'm packing the pack tomorrow. That kind of just makes more sense, really, to do, you know, to do a video on the pack when we're packing it. Sunny intervals and possible showers. I mean, tomorrow is just the right mix of showers and sunshine. But we're heading back tomorrow. I can't stay out here forever. Although we're quite happy out here, to be honest. But you know, I can't live out here. I mean, maybe we might get outside again later this afternoon. We'll kind of see, but I think some heavy rain is due soon, and I think we need to eat. Oh, I really like just a little bit of dry weather for a few hours when I'm relaxing out here. It's a little bit annoying when you don't get that. Oh yeah, I think I distracted myself. Yeah, I think this very, very thin mat, I don't know why this one does, and another piece over there which I've had for a long time, which I think that piece I got from Needle Sports, and I don't think they do it anymore, which is a real shame, because the one from Needle Sports, it never absorbed water, and you could use it, you know, any time, and water would not come through it. But this Atom Packs stuff, it absorbs water, and it just soaks out. It gets wet. It wets through. It's actually a little bit disappointing, to be fair. I doubt Atom Packs will ever watch my videos, but I think you actually need to get some different foam matting, because it's very thin, it's very light, but I think it's too porous. And for what we do, when you put a foam mat down, you don't want water coming through it. But I've had it soak out and then take ages to dry. This is the stuff from Atom's Packs, and that's obviously the back side of it, and you can see that it is, you know, it's very, very wet there, you know. But then this is the other side of it, and see how wet it is, you know, there as well. You know, it does seem quite porous. That rain is back again. Hopefully I can leave the door open. I got every vent is open, front, back, everything is open. I'll leave the door open if I can. The rain does seem to be going more that way, so maybe, hopefully, we can get away with it. You know, sometimes I almost wish that Hilleberg had put this door, you know, over here or something, you know, like that, because here, when the rain runs down there, it kind of drips straight in, which isn't a major problem, but you know, it does drip straight in. Whereas if they put the door here and it kind of dripped in over there, it kind of wouldn't really matter so much, because it's way over there. It's just this bit here where you're sitting and doing stuff and stretched out and everything. But then I suppose if you were doing something, it would just drip in there and probably be a pain there. But so it's probably fine as it is. It's just something that I noticed. Notice everything. Alright, I think I'm gonna hang this. I'm literally gonna hang my foam mat up to dry. And I'm gonna hang a few other bits up, and I think I'm gonna just put another layer on me, because I'm feeling a bit cool, and I need to get Lizzie back on me, because I think she's feeling a bit cool as well. And then I'm gonna get my porridge going. Poison myself with my own homemade food. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell is that at the bottom? I can't exactly remember, but I think it's I blitzed it in the blender, but I think it's there's some veggies in there, maybe broccoli or something similar, peppers, onion, and a jacket potato. So all that powder is veggies, jacket potato and such, and then the bit at the top is chicken. So that's what we've got in there. And the reason why I blitzed it is because it's such a big package, I couldn't get it all in. So the only way that I could actually fit it was to blitz and powderize the veggies and the carbohydrate, and then just leave the chicken as chicken, basically. I've left it a little bit later. It's coming up to 8 o'clock. Normally I would probably have had my dinner before now, but 8 o'clock's fine, because something is happening tonight. Something very scary, very dramatic, quite unusual. It only happens once every 6 months, well actually it's every 5 months, and then for every 5 months, and then 7 months, I think, isn't it? Because it's not actually every 6 months. And that is the clocks go back. So we're going to have an extra hour. So you've got an extra hour of the Hobbs in camp. So I don't know how much water we're going to need, but I'll put that amount of water in, bring it to the boil, and we'll kind of like go from there really. We've got Lizzie very cozy. It's quite cool for her now. I definitely won't be taking her out in the winter walking. I might bring her back in the winter if we do another stay in camp trip, which is quite probable. I probably will. You know, I quite like coming here and doing nothing for a few days. It's quite pleasant. So a trip like that, I might bring her, but we'll kind of see. We're almost on the edge of you know, of what she can do. I've got plenty of warm stuff. I've kept everything dry. You know, she goes outside, I take off her jackets and then let her go outside. She goes out, does her business. I bring her back in, or she comes back in. I make sure that her feet are dry, because that's the only thing that's going to get wet, because she hasn't gone out in the rain. And then I put her jackets back on again. But obviously, you know, I think she is feeling the cold a little bit. Okay, so that is now coming up to boil, and I go on, there it is. Lizzie has started to smell it. Oh, Les is... No, you stay there. So that's the chicken. And now we've got the mashed potato, the veggies, all powdered, blitzed. That's another one of those. Okay, let's get the spoon on it. Look at that. Of course, the trouble like this, the chicken is at the bottom. I don't know what this is going to. I think I'm at the limits of pot size. I brought this small pot because I wanted to do my I wanted to do my frying the other day. I mean, it's basically powder, so it shouldn't take long. But we'll leave it for 10 minutes and we'll see what it's like. I should have, I could probably do with a slightly bigger pot and a bigger X-Boil thing. I'll have to have a think on that. Because for rehydrating meals and things, that pot is just about big enough, as you can see, but it's on the limit there. Okay, let's try. So it's just like a goo, really. Well, it's not even a goo. It's just like solid powder. It's not bad though. I think the chicken needs a little bit more time to hydrate, and ideally, probably, I really think it needs a bigger pot. Jacket potato, probably not the best thing to do, because it was quite well done. and you kind of got that slight, I wouldn't say burnt texture to it, but that slight burnt texture. I wonder if it is worth just adding some more. What I've done, I've kind of moved it to one side. I think what I might try and do actually is just put some more liquid at the bottom and just bring it up to, and get some more warmth in the liquid. That's what it that's what it looks like. Looks like something the cat brought up. It's not bad. It just needs plenty of hydration, really. And maybe one day try and do a cooking video on how I do this. And we're just watching Spider-Man, just chilling out in camp. Chilling out in camp. All right, well, I think I'm going to finish this, put the kettle on, well, put water in here for the kettle, water, tea. I just wanted to spookily say there's not a breath of air out there. It's spookily still of air. It's like there's nothing. Do you think the earth has stood still? Today the earth stood still. You can see the hound. But there's nothing, it's not a breath of air. There's no condensation at the moment. Well, not too much. It has been very wet, I have to say. It's been soaked in here. But most of the condensation has gone. We've got one big towel hanging up, and Liz's other coat hanging up. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to carry on here. I just wanted to report the scary, windy. Oh, that's windy. Things going on out there. It's no wonder people make camping videos overly dramatic. Going to a scary, spooky place. Well, that wind and rain is back with an absolute vengeance. It was like really, really calm, and then just literally out of nowhere, just hammering it down. Oh, all fun and games. We can see that everything there is hunky-dory and safe. Always good to check everything. Oh, I mean. And good job to just double check the kindergarten, and she hasn't shifted with all that wind and rain and everything. And then we can double check that everything is is safe and sound. It's definitely cooler this evening than it was. It was a sudden mad. It's just, by the time I got everything set up, the worst of it had passed, but it's just a weird, strange thing. It's I don't know what it is with the weather this trip, but it's not just regular rain. Well, it is regular rain, but it's like really super heavy, very windy rain. It's, you know, it is more than just, it's more than just regular rain. It's really, yeah, it's really quite heavy and powerful, manly rain when it, you know, when it really thunders it down. Oh, well, not, there's no thunder, but oh, but that's there's another load. There's another load coming through by the sounds of it now. I was just about to make my tea. I'll just put the water back on. Just make sure it's nice and hot. And then we'll have a nice cup of tea. It's 25 to 12, so time is definitely ticking by a little bit, but we'll put our heads down. We'll put our heads down soon, or head. Oh. Just finishing off the amazing Spider-Man 2. Oddly, I've never seen that one. I'm surprised, really. I'm sure I've seen certainly the recent ones, and I'm sure I'd seen like the first 3 whenever they were. But the amazing Spider-Man, I don't think I'd seen, because I saw the first one, I don't know, a few months ago, but I don't know whether I'd seen it or not. But this one, I definitely haven't seen this one. I don't know about other people, but I'm not very good at judging how much water I need for my cups of tea. I think I'd have sussed it by now. I've just got this little, I use this little titanium cup, and it's very light. I don't know how big it is. It's probably about 300, no, it's probably, I don't know, it's either 250 or 300 millilitres. How to measure it, really. The cup that is. I know how big that is. Eiffel Towerine. Tiny BA. Anyway, oh my god. Now it's stopped. Now it stopped raining, but that rain, I don't really think that rain was, I don't know if that was forecast or not. Sunday. Well, yeah, 50% chance, 1 drop. 23. Oh. Holy cow's heads. we got some wind coming in, boys and girls. God, that wasn't forecast. That wasn't forecast the other day. We've got gusts 30 mile an hour, gusting up to 47 miles per hour down in South Brent, southwesterly winds. So I think we're going to get walloped by some overnight wind. Well, that's going to be enjoyable. And into the morning. Okay. I was hoping for a peaceful calm. A peaceful calm. Oh well, I'm not moving. I'm not doing a Chris Townsend and shifting, that is for sure. I'll batten down the hatches and put the earplugs in. What's it showing for? Strange, isn't it? Ivy Bridge, which is the same distance really, is showing, that's not showing any rain, and gusting up to high 20s. Bitterford, which is also close by, is gusting up to high 20s as well, 30. And that's showing heavy rain now and 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just been really weird weather. I think the rain is going to be on and off. I don't think there's going to be too much rain. But it's when the rain comes in, it's like I said, it's so heavy. It just pummels it down. It's very windy and it's like Thor himself has deposited, the wind and rain. All right, well, I think we're going to carry on with Spider-Man. And then we'll just see how the night goes. And then we'll pack up slowly in the morning. Like I said, 1 minute the forecast tomorrow is showing not too much rain, and then you look and then it's showing like it's raining the entire time. So I don't know. I think we'll try and get going for about 12. That seems to be the sweet-ish spot, to get going. Or to see whether this floods out again. It's flooded 2 or 3 times there. Alright, okay. Well, that sudden thunderous outpouring has passed. And now it's stopped. Oh. It's that it's definitely a little bit cooler. It's still only about 10 degrees though, so it's not exactly freezing. Let's get this let's get Spider-Man finished, and then we'll try and put my head down. Not long after midnight, and maybe I can fall asleep then. Maybe, I hope. I nearly fell asleep at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then Lizzie needed to go out, so that woke me up, so I didn't actually fall asleep in the end. Anyway, hopefully by staying awake, hopefully I can fall asleep now. Alright, basically I'm going to have my tea, finish Spidey, and then I'll put my head down. Alright, so that's probably, unless there's any more rain or anything happens, I'll see you in the morning. Oh, and while I think of it, I try to remember to do it occasionally. Thank you to the members of the channel. I'll try and remember to mention you now and again, or try and put a special word in for you as you've contributed a little something. So JJ, who's a member of the upper echelon, Poop Deck, Organised Chaos, and Nicholas, who are members. Well, you've got to have a sense of humour if you're watching this channel, you know. and they're the gutter members. They're like the low members. Mind you, your gutters are up the top as well, aren't they? Okay, well that's all my membership gone now. Insulted. What? We've insulted all the members now. Let's see. I'm sure they're members to be insulted. I doubt anybody watches this channel not to be insulted. It reminds me of my dad. If you ever watch Gran Torino, that scene where he goes into the barber and he's insulting the barber and the barber's insulting him, well, that's what it was for my dad. My dad used to be a pharmacist, an independent, literally an independent pharmacist. It was his own business. And the customers, they literally went into the shop to be insulted by him, I think. I think he insulted the pharmacy inspectors too. He didn't care. Oh, bless him. Keep going, Dad. All right. Until the morning.